I got from people that I had watched our first
Nice.
set of videos.
Nice. Welcome, everybody, to Brown and Browner. We're going to give you the pre-NCAA weekend edition, along with, spring and everything else that's joyous in between right now, including a little bit of pre-Masters, but we'll get to that next week.
Yeah, but there's a time and place for all of that stuff, and it would be nice to talk about the Masters. But what's dominating the landscape? No, it's not baseball and opening day, and it's not that. It's not any championships that they had, whether it's ice skating, figure skating, whatever. It's not those things. It's March Madness, and we are at the closure of March Madness, and this is where it becomes most exciting. But one of the things I have to say is, let's talk about the women first. We can get to the men. We were just having a conversation. Boy, is that chalk looking thick, baby. It's just all day chalk over on the women's side. And don't get me wrong, these teams are very deserving.
It's chalk, but we're also watching history again. UConn undefeated. I mean, this doesn't happen in sports, and we're privileged to have watched this for the last 25 years, or maybe even longer, as far as I'm concerned. My lifetime of UConn.
My hat off to Gino. I have to say, Pat did a job in Tennessee back in the day, but Gino has surpassed that and then some. The standard, the excellence, the longevity, is just unmatched. And quite frankly, the UConn men have caught up too. We'll talk about them later.
We're talking about double legacy. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, if they win this year, it'll be another one of those years where the same college won both men and women's basketball.
Yes, sir. But as far as the women go, like I said, UConn, it's a juggernaut. I believe walking into the tournament, Vegas put them at a 49% clip to win. I mean, it's pretty much them against the field.
Yes.
I'm going to give Texas credit on the other side. I think they're a juggernaut as well. If you watch them play, they are physical, tough women that are playing over there. And I think, and that's honestly my matchup in the final. It's going to be Texas knocking out UCLA in the one semi, and UConn taking over Don Staley, who, again, legend in her own right and the program. But at this time, UConn is just too deep. So I got UConn and Texas in my final, and I got UConn winning it over Texas in a close game.
Was Texas in the Final Four last year?
Texas, I think, was in the Final Four last year, yes.
Was UCLA in the Final Four last year?
UCLA was not. They did have a star player, the same star player, but they were not.
I have a feeling they got something to prove.
They do.
I agree with UConn as much as South Carolina has had their dominance as well, for smaller periods of time. And Don Staley's a great coach, and they pump out pro players at South Carolina, sort of like the old Alabama in college football. I cannot give them the edge over UConn. UConn looks like the juggernaut, and I don't care who wins between Texas and UCLA. I got UCLA and UConn in the final. UConn. And the funny thing is, if we wanted to transition over to the guys, my story is going to be sort of similar.
No, and transitioning to the guys, I mean, think about it. You could be looking at a four-peat on the men's side with UConn, in theory.
Last year.
In theory. And then they lost to the champion, obviously. They lost to Florida last year. What Danny Hurley has done with that program is unbelievable. It's the definition of team sport is what he's brought to that play. They've got star players. Don't get me wrong. They've had star players over the last years, but not like, other than, Stephon Castle, who's obviously good in the NBA and everything as a rookie, which is great. They don't have that elite star power that, they don't get the number one guy out of high school kind of thing. They got team, like 3, 4, 5-star mixture.
That's Duke who does that.
Yes. And get that. Think about that for Duke for a second. Between Jason Tatum, Cooper Flagg, and everything else they've had between there, no championships.
Yeah, because they don't have one guy who stays for more than a year.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
Yep.
They pump out players in record time every year, and I don't care who it is. Did Zion win a championship?
Zion did not.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's like they've had these really great players, but they don't seem to – and don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Although I'm so happy because I hate Christian Laettner, and I remember Christian Laettner's shot against Kentucky. I had Kentucky as my practice.
Without that. Yeah.
It was so sweet to watch this guy throw up a 35 to 40-foot jumper after Boozer and gosh, I feel so bad for him. I don't care what people say. When you're that person, that sticks with you for your rest of your life.
It does.
I failed in this moment. And it wasn't that he did a major fail. He just dribbled the ball instead of taking it and turning
Should
it
have
around.
held it, something exactly. But think about that for a second. Think about that play coming out. Okay, Duke's got the ball in the inbounds. They go to their leader. They go to Cam. Cam fumbles it. Fine. Okay, that's one piece of it. UConn recovers. Their senior leader, Caravan, gets the ball. Dribble drives, try to look for a shot. Doesn't have it. Gives it to the freshman.
Yes, he does.
Freshman.
He's further away from the basket.
Uh-huh.
And that's a presence of mind because could he have thrown it up? He's the senior. You more than deserve to do it. But he was, stuck up. There was no way he was going to get off a clean shot.
Basketball.
Yeah. And he passed the ball. And that dude who was 0 for 4, I think, at 3-pointers up to that point, smoked that ball into the hole. And boy, it was sweet. Mm-hmm. And it's funny. I just saw a video that panned from Boozer family.
Oh, yeah.
The Hurley family.
Yeah.
The reaction is just something else. You can see the ball pass through the shot.
For as much as Duke and Kentucky has lived in lore, this is the next phase. This is that good, in my opinion.
Duke is different.
It is.
Coach K and what Duke did. Kentucky was another one of those teams where freshman year, guy had great freshmen, but they never had teams that stuck together.
Everybody.
Yeah, but they didn't win as much.
No, they didn't win until 96.
They had great teams that did not win.
They didn't win until 96.
Great teams that didn't win, but it was less frequent than it was for most every other college team out there.
Yep.
North Carolina had it for a moment and they lost it. And they're think about it. While Kentucky got lucky because they hit that 3-point shot, they sent it in overtime. They could have been out right away.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And to see, I forget the other team.
Carolina.
These teams now that used to be juggernauts are just knots. Oh, North Carolina.
Yeah.
They're knots. They're firing coaches left and right. They have no real.
I mean, I've got some feelings on that one too. Yeah, I've got some feelings on North Carolina. I mean, should they have fired Hubert Davis? I have both a yes and no proposition there. Some of that elite level aura of North Carolina has been lost in recent years. And it has to do with the trickle down of, loss of, quality coaches, all that. And I get all that. They had Guthrie, they had Ward Williams, they had all that stuff. I get it. And then you had to go to Hubert Davis. Hubert Davis isn't that aura guy, in my opinion, for North Carolina. And that hasn't helped. Now, should he have been fired for the fact that he lost his best player?
Well, that is the thing that sort of sucks. Imagine any team losing their best player and still making it to the dance
tournament.
Yeah. So I that is sort of crappy. I agree with you. That's the reason why I don't think he should have been fired. But there is a reason why I think he should have been fired.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the interesting fallout there, and this will come after the tournament, is does North Carolina go outside the blue blood line in terms of coaching and go after whoever the hottest commodity is, whether it is the guy from Arizona, whether it's the guy from Florida, whoever. They can go either direction. They can go for another coach, but they're not going to, it sounds like they're not going to stick within the North Carolina blue blood line, which is going to be interesting. So it's the first time break in that situation. You normally see that hold true with the blue bloods. I mean, Duke, we know the obvious one. You got John Shire. Kansas has stuck true with all of their lineage since day one. Kentucky stuck with their lineage since day one, other than Billy Gillespie, which was a weird hire. And that guy got run out of town even before he set foot, which was strange. But North Carolina, top 3, top 5 type coaching program, obviously, in the country. No question. You've got the pipeline, you've got the recruitment, you got the aura. No question. Do they dare break that whole historic cycle of the aura at the end of the day? That's the real question.
Yeah, but what do we have nowadays when you look at coaching in any sport, but especially basketball and football, are the main ones? Heck, even in Alabama, looks at who's the hottest coach.
They went outside. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And now they're obviously beginning to kind of question that too. Syracuse tried going a little inside and outside, but now they're coming back to their roots. They got Jerry McNamara back in, so they're going back to the Boeheim roots. What happens when, say, Tom Izzo retires?
I'd like to see what happens there.
That'll be another interesting one. So, I mean, like I said, Michigan obviously went outside their bounds. They're doing well. Hell yeah, I've got them, they're in the Final Four. Simple enough, Now, going back to the men's draw, I mean, like I said, we got the whole coaching area thing, and that'll play out after the tournament. But for right now, We got a matchup with UConn.
Are they a team of destiny? Because nobody thought Duke would lose.
Illinois is playing well. They got some dogs, and that kid Flagler. Let me tell you, he's that dog.
Illinois looks tough, and I'd love to see
an Illinois
like
an Allen Iverson kind of kid. Like he's going to carry everybody on his back and say, "I'm going to take you to the promised land, no problem." But they're going against UConn. It's a team. That's the problem. So that's the reason I'm going UConn on that one. The other one I think is arguably the national championship. Arizona and Michigan. You got two teams playing at the top of their game with elite depth on their roster, elite coaching going on between their two coaches. Both teams are hitting stride at the right time. No question. I think it's going to be a dogfight, and I'm picking Arizona by an inch.
I have to agree with you with the UConn Illinois matchup, but would still love to see Illinois win.
Yeah, I would love to see Illinois win, but it's not yet. I don't think they have enough depth to overcome it. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I think depth and I think experience.
I mean, unless Stojakovic just goes off 30 somehow.
Yeah, I mean, they have the experience from a coaching standpoint and from a player standpoint. I think those things really matter at this stage of the game.
Absolutely.
So don't get me wrong. There's been some upstarts to do things, but hey, remember even the Fab Five had a timeout they shouldn't have called, and all of these things. So things happen.
Webb is still haunted to this day.
In a moment's notice. Just like he hit that 3-pointer, the freshman hit that 3-pointer. He might choke on a couple free throws at the end of the game. Who knows?
Yep.
But I still got to give it to UConn for that reason.
Yep.
The other game, while everybody's touting it as the national championship, we play the sport.
Oh, yeah, we played the game.
For a reason.
Yeah.
So you can look great on paper. Everybody should be able to win, but it's about the effort and the desire that you display in the moment. Having said that, I actually think I was at the Michigan-Tennessee game.
The bigs for Michigan they're hungry.
I was at that game, and Tennessee got off to a quick start, and they were actually winning, and they were winning, by 5-7 points, whatever it was. And when Michigan's big started going,
then they went belt to ass.
and when they clamped down on the defense, I don't know, man. I think Arizona is going to get upset, and I actually think that it's going to be Michigan-UConn in the final because I feel like Michigan is one of those teams where they can run with you, they can score in spurts, they can shut you down. If you have any of those three things, two of those three things going, you have a really good chance to win a game, and I think Michigan is going to be able to do that. I saw it firsthand on Sunday. Yeah. It was a sight to see.
What scares me is the depth of both teams. That's the thing, and you can get any player to go off, which makes it even more entertaining.
Well, you know what I actually found pretty amazing about the game Sunday that we saw, and it was going to be predominantly Michigan. We're in Illinois. Yeah. I felt like, most games that are blowouts are boring.
Yeah.
This game wasn't boring. Michigan just played with such excellence.
Yeah. They were enthusiastic. Yeah. Like
it was,
energy.
And it was infectious throughout the crowd. The Tennessee fans weren't feeling it. But you could just see it, like you were still in the game. They were doing great blocks, great rebound, out pass, alley-oops. They were just doing it. They were playing really great basketball, and it's a joy to watch, even in blowouts.
Here's what scares me walking into that game. To me, this is a Big Ten homer matchup for both teams. Illinois is going to have its fans there in Indianapolis. Michigan's going to be packed to the rim in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So at that point, Arizona and UConn are at a disadvantage, in my opinion, already. You're playing in these teams' backyards, and that makes it a little scary. I think for that reason, I buy your theory.
Ask Houston about playing in your backyard.
Yeah.
Houston lost to Illinois.
Houston lost to Illinois.
In Houston.
Yeah, but you kind of called that one because you were like, Kelvin Sampson doesn't come up big in big games.
Coaches coach, and some coaches don't know how to coach when it counts.
Right, and that was it. I mean, think about it. Illinois was a 1-2-man wrecking crew. Let's call it a 1-2-man.
Oh, yeah, they were killing them, though, boy.
They had the third guy too. Stojakovic was going off. The other guy from I think they call them like the sensational Serbians or whatever. It's the 5 guys that they've got in. Like
yeah, and they're good.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. It's like having 5 Tony Kukocs out there.
Well, the one is the son of Asia.
Boyakovich. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, that's right. I like the culture, the mentality of Illinois. They'll be hungry, but that's where, like I said, I think we and I are in agreement with UConn kind of overcoming that just because of the experience and everything else, and the coaching ability of Hurley is obviously unbelievable. So I get that. They'll have them ready. The other game, I think, is just going to be a fun dogfight to watch, and I'm glad it's the later game. I think if I looked at the schedule correctly, it's going to be the late game on Saturday, which I think is going to make it just unbelievable late night television, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually that they would put Illinois second. Is that true?
No. Illinois first, right?
5
Or am I
o'clock.
wrong? Hold on. Let me see the schedule real quick.
So it looks like Illinois is playing at 5 p.m.
Yeah, they got the early game. Illinois got the early game.
And that's how it should be, because they should be showcasing the Arizona UConn matchup.
Yeah. So no, it'll be interesting to see. But no, I think your pick being Michigan, my pick being Arizona, playing against UConn. Who you got in the title?
I got UConn. Hey, my sheet is holding up, baby. I should have entered more pools this year.
I'm picking the winner of Arizona and Michigan. I've got Arizona in my brackets, but I'm picking the winner of Arizona and Michigan to just outlast UConn only because of depth. I think it's going to be a great coaching matchup, but the physicality of that Michigan team scares me. And
it can be
frankly,
physical.
Whoever wins that battle tells me that they're the stronger team between Arizona and Michigan. And I think that's what that'll outlast the dogfight against UConn. UConn's got a big two that can battle. Don't get me wrong. That guy's been on a 2020 tear like the whole tournament. I forgot his name now. For UConn, the big man in the middle.
Oh, Reed?
Yes, Reed. There you go. Yeah.
He's crazy. He's killing them.
Yeah.
He was killing them. They couldn't stop him.
I can't wait to see the matchup between him and the Ade guy from Michigan, if that happens, the big dude for them, or the other big, again, they got like a Slovenian too.
Yeah, big white boy.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a fun matchup in the middle. We're getting back to big boy basketball, so it'll be fun to see who can get the boards.
I'm hopeful that the games stay close.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you this: love Illinois, want them to win.
Yep.
But I could see them losing by 25-30.
Oh yeah, I could see a runaway too. UConn tends to put the clamps down on defense in big games, is what we've seen so far, which has been impressive.
But Illinois they match up well. They're athletic.
They won though. Illinois is capable of put 100 points a game.
They can.
Without question. You got to outlast
them. Stop 100 points from being scored, they'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'll put it to this: if Illinois gets over 80, I think they win.
Maybe. I think if UConn shoots a better 3-point percentage, they were shooting 3-pointers like they were doing it blindfolded.
They were making it rain. They were making it rain. There's no question.
So, if you get the senior, Caliban,
yep.
If he plays and doesn't go like 0 for 8 or whatever,
right,
and you get the freshman just to do enough, and they got Reed in the middle, and this is the funny thing, when we're watching the game, and I kept, you just notice tendencies when you watch a game, and sometimes I wonder how coaches don't see that.
Right.
But UConn was able to score when they played from the inside out. When they tried to play from the outside in, they weren't good at it. No. But if they got the ball to Reed, everything seemed to collapse. Then they had open shots. Reed was taking into the basket, getting guys in foul trouble. That's how you should play your offense until they can prove that they can't, that they can stop that.
I think experience won them over against Duke. I mean, Duke had a sizable lead, obviously, 19, 14 points, whatever it was. And it wasn't until, it was a choke, but at the same time, that was when UConn also turned the table. And you had too many freshmen on the floor for Duke. You had unexperienced guys that hadn't played against the bigs and everything. That's where you saw that flip. Get the ball to Reed, kick it back out, let your seniors do the work from the arc. Simple enough. So, no, and that comes down to good coaching again. Simple there, too. So,
yeah, but come on, man. Duke, not like Long State University.
I should have seen it coming.
Long Island State. Not that. This is Duke.
Yeah.
You got, probably 4 of the best 20 players in college basketball on your team right there.
Absolutely.
You blow a 9-point lead with like a few minutes left in the game.
Yep. No, you're right. No, you're dead
you're
right.
Big, you're big. Your best player. You're big. You get the ball, you inbound the ball.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but doesn't he just stand there and protect the ball and make them foul him?
That's all he should have done. If you think about the clock and everything, that's why I was stunned that he was still trying to work the ball up the court.
He bounced past the ball to the guy who inbound the ball, and instead of him doing the same thing, he passes it up to a young Boozer.
Yep. So no, it was blown. It's as simple as that. There's no question. But
but you couldn't bet against that because that's not supposed to happen.
How crazy would it be if both UConn teams pull it off together? Now there is a furniture store. Have you heard the story? There's a furniture store in Connecticut who put the bet out back in January for its customers and said if the UConn men and women make it to the final, furniture's free.
Really?
Yes. Just like the Houston guy does during the Super Bowl.
I don't know this. No.
Yeah, there's a guy in Houston. He always puts about a $1 million proposition out there, basically, for all of his stores. Basically, he says that whoever he picks for the Super Bowl or doesn't pick for the Super Bowl, whatever it is, as long as it comes true, then he pays for everybody's furniture over whatever period of time that they buy it.
That could take you out of business real quick.
It can, but he insures himself.
Well, how many times has he lost or won?
He's won. I mean, let's put it this way. I think with the way that insurance works in that game and everything else, he's broken even. So he doesn't really care. He does it for the fun of it. Same thing with, I'm sure, this smaller furniture store out in Connecticut. But it's still cool to think. Think about the odds, though. This is just for the Super Bowl that this Houston guy does, right? Whatever. This guy picked men's and women's. It's a tougher order, right?
But again, you got UConn.
You bring success at a single program. It's impressive to watch.
Yeah, they're impressive. And quite frankly, you said it earlier. UConn could have three-peated.
3 and even 4.
Why not think they still have the ability, especially if you're betting early in the season, that they couldn't do that?
Other than the UCLA teams of the 70s, there is no one in history that can hold up 3 or 4 rings, if you think about it.
That's true.
Alex Caravan is the first to hold up 3 rings, if you think about it.
Let's see anybody dominant like that in college basketball wasn't Duke.
The Florida team that went back to back with Joakim Noah, right?
Oh, that's true.
But that was only 2.
That's 2. Yeah, that's 2.
And they too could have gone for a third, but they all left for the NBA. That's fine. But the UCLA teams, you got to date back that far.
But part of why you have to date back that far is exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Because you don't have these guys stick around for that long. How long did Jordan play? 2 years?
Right. That's true.
So, you just don't have the guys sticking around. And it's funny because I don't know if this is the excellence of the program or the corruptness of the system, but it's amazing that teams like the Dukes, the North Carolinas back in the day, heck, even UConn, now you could say that, are able to lose people, reload. Like, imagine Duke if they had Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, which you'd be
playing with the rest of those guys.
He'd be a sophomore.
Imagine that.
You put him and Cam Boozer together, good luck.
But you got to sort of tip your cap to these organizations. But again, is it because they are good at attracting talent and nurturing it and coaching it up, or are they basically a product of the system?
Well, let's go
Once
the other way.
You become one of those blue bloods, you always get the best 100 players in the league constantly.
Let's go the other way. UConn might win I shouldn't say might. They've won 3 titles with 3 different coaches. Think about that.
That's true, because what is it? Calhoun,
Curley.
Who's the other?
The middle guy, Kevin Ollie.
Oh, Kevin Ollie. Forgot about him. Yeah.
Think about that. And he did it as a 10 seed.
Well, and honestly, this is where I give UConn more credit than, say, a Duke or a Kentucky or whomever, is because UConn is not your first or your second or your 5th pick when you talk about major colleges and you're one of the top 100 players.
Yeah, not in the men's game. It's not where the number 1 guy in high school.
In the women's game, that's different.
Yeah.
Women's game, the best players want to go to UConn.
Exactly. So no, that's what makes it different, is the fact that he's built that team culture. He's got everybody to buy in. Hurley is arguably the best coach in college basketball right now, in my opinion.
How can you argue? Let's see. If we looked at the last 3 years, 4 years,
success,
5 years, 6 years, 7 years, how many coaches have won 2 titles and had their team pretty much primed to win titles back to back, going to Final Fours? Who was doing that?
Yep.
And it isn't just going to Final Four. Certain teams just sort of make it because they're always number 1 seeds. But what are you doing in that Final Four? How many titles have Duke won in the last 10 years?
It's been a minute. That's the difference. It's been a minute. They're a factory for churning out NBA talent, but they're not a factory for titles. That's the thing.
They're turning into Kentucky.
They're turning into Kentucky. Well, Kentucky with Calipari. Now Kentucky's changed.
Well, Kentucky now, are they going to make the tournament?
Kentucky's looking like fried chicken right now. It ain't helping. Raising Cane's came and kicked their ass. That's their problem.
They took that over. I thought I saw churches in Kentucky.
Churches too.
They need some church because something's wrong because they got holy, just everything. It's holy defense.
Surprised.
Their offense is shabby.
They haven't gotten top recruits. They're not what they are, and maybe they are kicking themselves for getting rid of Calipari. Maybe they're not. I don't know. That'll be told in time. But for a team with that much history, they've lost the allure of luring in the best. That's the problem.
That's it, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess North Carolina's going through some of that. Maybe
North
a little
Carolina's
bit too.
going through some of it. Syracuse kind of went through some of that too, if you think about it.
A little bit, but Syracuse wasn't ever really
It's
on
never
top
been
except
that. Yeah,
for Carmelo Anthony year.
Right.
And who was it? Ronnie Cycli when he was there.
Yep.
But yeah, I think those teams, I can't even say like an Oklahoma.
No.
I mean, Texas is good at every sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Houston probably was one of those teams that would attract good talent.
Houston always, given what Kelvin Sampson can do on the recruiting trail and the fact that he can pick up a phone, yeah, it's a little bit of a knock on him. Indiana fans love that one.
Remember when he was there?
Let's talk about Indiana. That's all been lost, if you think about it.
What do you mean?
The entire aura of Indiana basketball has been lost.
Oh, yeah. They're totally gone. Who are they?
Yeah. There is no identity after Bobby Knight, literally.
It's weird, but just totally right.
Yeah.
But again, there are certain colleges, especially when you're talking about the Dukes and such, the weather also plays a factor in that. How many Big Ten schools are really, besides Michigan and Michigan State, are the attractive schools to go to?
Well,
Illinois, they don't get the best players. They happen to have a good one now with the rookie.
Michigan was only brought into the light because of Steve Fisher in basketball, if you think about it.
You mean the Fab Five?
The Fab Five, yeah. The Fab Five. Steve Fisher, the Fab
I would
Five.
give Steve Fisher all of the credit there.
Yeah. It was the Fab Five and the fact that you had the local guys. So that was big in that, right? But then that dropped pretty severely too after all the Fab Five left, obviously.
Yeah, but remember they had like Glenn Rice years, isn't that when they won a championship?
They had Glenn Rice.
It's not that they had some shabby players even before the Fab Five. After the Fab Five, they were able to milk that to get better players, but they haven't done shit since the Fab Five.
No, Detroit basketball hasn't held its own because obviously some of Detroit also ended up with Tom Izzo, obviously, at some point. Mateen Cleaves and the boys, obviously. So, at least they've held the culture in check between the state. But Indiana, Butler was your most recent success story, if you think about it.
Butler.
Remember when Butler made the final?
Oh, you mean Butler, the college?
Butler, the college, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Butler
that's
University.
Indiana's claim to fame. There's nothing else.
Yeah, Indiana University has done nothing at the end of the day.
They're a football school now. They did a flip. They're a football team which is perennially sucked and been like middle of the pack at best in Big Ten, won the championship.
I want to see what Big Sig brings in next year for football. That'll be even more fun.
Hey, I'm a fan. I don't even like Indiana necessarily, but I like the coach. I like what they did. The story's great. And if you can find a team, and that's why I think UConn might be able to win it all.
Yes.
When you find a team that plays like a team, like they play for each other, there is no I. There is a bunch of we's. There may be a me, but it's mostly we. We don't do the I. Man, you can accomplish a lot. We've seen some of the best players collapse.
All four teams embody that on the men's side, I can say. That's been the cool thing to watch during the NCAA. It's like you've had these other teams with the star player here and there, 1, 2, whatever. These were the best four teams of the NCAA season, in my opinion, on the men's side.
Well, I don't know if Illinois is one of the four best teams, but they're in the Final Four.
Who else would you have put in there? Think about it.
I don't know. What was Illinois' rank? 15?
They're a top 10 program.
Are they? Were they ranked in the top 10?
I'm not talking about
the end of the year.
10,
they might have been early in the year, but at the end of the year.
Fair. But, who else would you put in there? Florida choked, and you saw how bad they got exposed, honestly.
Well, yeah, and the fact that they were a number 1 seed might have been to their detriment.
To me, the entire SEC got exposed, in my opinion, just like they did in football. They got caught with their pants down again.
Yeah, because what happened to all those teams?
Bye-bye.
I mean, usually that's the Big Ten, and the Big Ten had probably their best NCAA as a conference ever.
But, I mean, think about it. In Big Ten basketball right now and Big Ten football are at the top of the heap. Plain and true.
Pretty much. I mean, if Indiana's the champion, and I don't think Illinois will win, but the fact that they got
Michigan, take your
into
pick.
the Final Four,
yeah.
And not only did they have 2 teams in the Final Four, Iowa was in the Final 8.
They had the majority of the teams in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, so you got to give them credit for that.
Yep.
Wisconsin, are you listening?
Everybody was arguing that the Big 12 had the best basketball league walking in. We saw a lot of that fall apart, obviously, with Houston, Kansas, and everything else. Iowa State, Arizona, the one team who's new, who doesn't really belong in the Big 12.
No, they don't.
Where's
Arizona? It's definitely not where Big 12 country is.
Heck no. But under this newfangled thing we call the NCAA, hey, everything's around the country, at this point. Big Ten literally covers all 4 time zones. Maybe that's why they're
still
successful.
Cracks me up every time I hear somebody like a UCLA or even Nebraska. Nebraska's in the Big Ten. It just sounds funny.
Nebraska I can give a little nudge to because you're right there on the border of Iowa and all that. Okay, fine. It's when we're talking about Oregon and Rutgers. That's the problem.
Yeah. You got the ends of the nation, right? It's like, how are you in the same conference?
Well, one guy's on the Jersey Shore, the other one's smoking weed in Arizona and Oregon. It doesn't make any sense.
But I have to say, this year, I felt like there was a lot of maybe more parity.
Definitely. That's what I said walking in.
Yes, you had the Duke and Arizona. They were garnering the majority of the votes. But as you saw the play develop, there were many teams that looked like they were worthy enough or capable enough to win 5-6 games in a row or whatever.
Think about what Texas did. They came out of the depths of the draw and almost made it.
Yes, yes. And they were just a moment away from being able to be in, the Elite Eight?
Yep. So I think there was a good piece this morning talking about coaches who have gotten redemption this year through the NCAA. Notably, Rick Pitino, obviously, is at the top of that list.
Give me another one. I got one for you.
Sean Miller of Texas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rick Barnes.
Mr. AKA failure.
Yeah, I mean, hands off to you, Rick, because I didn't think you could just pull that off. I wasn't sure your team could win more than 1 game.
That man has been an enigma to me since I was a kid. I still remember when he recruited guys like TJ Ford, Kevin Durant, God knows how many NBA players, and couldn't do anything.
Just that's, certain coaches, Sampson being one of them. They're just coaches that are like that don't win.
Yeah. Well,
they don't.
Hats off to him for lasting as long as he did. I think I might have actually lost money on Rick Barnes this year. Normally I win money all the way through March, but this year I actually lost money on Rick Barnes. It's quite impressive. But that said,
it should be a very interesting tourney.
Absolutely.
Given what we've seen thus far, I can only imagine what could happen in these upcoming games because there are just some good matchups. You got some good players on both teams. You got good teams playing each other.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to watch. And I may be at the final game. The tickets went down. My son was looking at it. If we can get a ticket for, I'm not going to say it. Well, nobody's watching this.
You're putting the horrible nosebleeds up in Indiana. That's up there.
And you know what, though? For $200, if you're sitting up in that section, we did it for the Michigan-Tennessee game. And I tell you what, we were literally in the last row.
Yeah,
but it was a perfect view of everything.
The atmosphere,
like we were behind the basket, but not behind where anything's being blocked, and you could see it was really nice.
Nice. Nope.
For $200, that was worth it. Got me a little workout trying to go up and down those darn stairs.
Yep. No, that's all you can ask for at that point. Absolutely.
But man, if it could be Michigan against Illinois,
that would be. Yeah.
See, and we need to get the tickets now because.
Well, I was gonna say if that happens, you're not getting a ticket.
No, it ain't happening, or it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg.
That might be the most expensive ticket you could possibly imagine. In the
I think so. Arizona against whomever, UConn against whomever.
Yep.
But Michigan against Illinois. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's in Indianapolis. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That would be scary. That said,
Can only hope.
yep. That said, like I said, we're in for a great weekend of games. Be ready for it. I think it's going to be exciting as heck. But I think we got our picks. I wouldn't mind seeing the UConn special all the way across.
I would love to see that. I wish I was smart enough to bet it at the beginning of the season. Imagine the odds of that.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I'm looking for the UConn special, but just want to see some good basketball and would urge everybody out there.
Yep.
Don't just watch the men's game. Watch the women's game. There's some good basketball
There's
being
some good
played.
basketball. Exactly. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nope. That said, enjoy the weekend full of good basketball. Have some fun with the weather. It's been nice and warm.
Warmer, but man, today was cold as crap.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the sad part. It was. It actually was.
This fickle weather needs to go. Winter, release your grasp.
Yeah,
it's
no
time
kidding.
to let spring, show new life and blossom, and we can start thinking about shedding the clothing and not seeing our breath. That's what
that would be key. I don't disagree. But with that said, enjoy the games. Have some fun this weekend, and then next week we'll be picking up on the Masters.
There you go. There are going to be some great stories there. Got an interesting underdog that I think might be able to win it.
Fair enough. So that.
All right.
Catch you guys later. We'll be
Be
back.
well, everyone.
Yep.
Peace to you.
See ya.
All right.